Here in America, we are less than a month before one of the most important elections in the history of our country. I know it's said time and time again, but in true honesty, this is a very important election, particularly when America owes over $35 trillion in debt. Every 100 days, $1 trillion in debt is added to our debt. If you like the video, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. But human beings have a very difficult time dealing with large numbers. $1 trillion is a 12-digit number. Now, how does a country get judged on its economy? It's judged basically on gross domestic product. And what that is as the total of goods and services sold in the country less imports. It can be kind of deceptive because it also includes government spending. And currently in America, right now, government spending is making up a major part of GDP, which is not good. America's gross domestic product is about $28 trillion and is growing at an annual rate of 3% per year. And that's not that bad. But we need to talk about some other things that you may have heard about, and hopefully when I explain these terms and the next time you hear it, it might help you understand a little bit better. There's something called the Consumer Price Index, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics uses a basket of goods to measure the cost of prices month to month. So when you hear CPI, that's what that is a measurement of a certain basket of goods and how that may have gone up and down in price. Another term you may hear is something called the prime rate. The prime rate is the rate that the bank gives to its best customer. And the bank's best customer is a bank. Typically, the prime rate is used for banks to have money for their reserves when they open in the morning. A reserve is a required amount of money that the Federal Reserve requires each bank to have on hand to meet the needs of their users. There's something called the yield curve, and why that's important is it looks at a 10-year bond versus a 2-year note. And it assumes that the longer you invest your money, the higher return you expect to get an interest rate. And the converse is true. The shorter you invest your money, the lower interest rate you're going to get. But a yield curve inversion is when the 2-year note has a higher interest rate than 10 years. That's a serious problem. What that says to people is that there's really not much confidence 10 years down. I want to get my money now. So, finally, we're going to talk about some actual effects going on with the Fed Chairman Powell, who has decided to give us a 50 basis point cut. What that means is hopefully that should stimulate the economy. My concern is that 50 points is a lot. I didn't expect 50 points. I expected 25 points. The European Union has not changed their rates as of this note. Curious enough, Chairman Powell used the word recalibration many times in his speech, which was kind of curious because it made me think that something is not going on right. If you like the video, subscribe and thumbs up. But recently, the jobs number was adjusted in America. And it was adjusted at 818,000 less jobs were created according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is very bad news for the U.S. economy. Probably the biggest thing going on right now, as far as the world is concerned, is China. China, since COVID, has been in a shutdown and has not been exporting as much as it should. There's some interesting things going on in China. There's something called buy land, which they have a problem with youth employment, youth employment. Remember, China is the world's second largest economy and #1 exporter. So what they do affects every country in the world. The Chinese are not buying their own products. The geopolitical situation in China, the potential issues with Taiwan, the fact that there is $32 trillion invested in the Chinese housing market, which you may have seen ghost towns which no one lives in. The Chinese people have invested so much into real estate that potentially could be an atomic bomb for them. Expected is a longshoreman strike in the east coast of the United States. That will impact about 45,000 workers. America and the rest of the world works in a just-in-time economy, which means you really don't store many goods. You get them just in time to complete something and move it out the door. This is going to be a major problem for us if this strike occurs. And by the time you see this video, you will know if it has or not. Our credit card delinquency debt is at 9%. So basically, things aren't that great with the American economy. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe and have a great day.